What is up, guys, and welcome back. Welcome back indeed. We are once again in Dubai after 5 weeks of travel. We went to Cape Town, we went to Miami, we went to LA, we went to Tokyo, and we went to Seoul. And then we made it back. So one entire lap around the globe. We're back in Dubai. But am I going to be here for much longer? Is this the same Dubai that I left? Will I be moving elsewhere? Well, all is going to be revealed in this video. So what is the current situation in Dubai? A question which I'm getting asked regularly. I mean, to be honest, it's probably worth me doing a completely separate video discussing it, at least my thoughts on it and what is actually happening, because there's been a lot of madness in the news, and I think people out of Dubai don't really know the truth to what is actually happening inside of Dubai. So I will bring that video to you, just not now, because it's not the subject of today's video, is it? No. Today's video is all about moving. We are moving. The apartment which I've been in for 5 years, the whole building's been renovated. And it just so happens that me coming back at this point in time, they told me that the renovations are gonna get like pretty full on, to the point where the apartment's not even livable. So yeah, I had to make the decision whether to kind of stick it out and travel or go to a new apartment. And do you know what? As potentially unstable as the situation is right now in the Middle East, it's a great time to be apartment hunting and house hunting, because there's a few people who are desperately trying to rent out their place or sell their properties. Not everybody, but some people are. So I'm going to make the most of this opportunity and do the long-awaited upgrade that I have been waiting for a year or two now. So more on that later. Oh yes, what a nutritious dish that is. Right, guys, so today is moving day. For anyone who doesn't know, it's actually pretty straightforward here to move your possessions. I mean, you can even put it in storage as well. So what I used to do in the summertime, in the first few years I stayed here, I would put the majority of my belongings, which I didn't have much at the time, in storage, and I would save myself a load of money by not paying rent when I wouldn't be spending much time here. But obviously now it has become more of a base, and I do have more stuff. It's just nice to know that I have that base and I can go back to it at any point during the summer. I don't like leaving Dubai for months at a time anymore. Even after a couple of weeks, I like to just come back. So the team are going to be coming around very shortly. I just have to observe and supervise and make sure they're taking my stuff, not the stuff which does not belong to me. And then they will pack it up and transport it to the next place. Right, then one last look to say goodbye. Whoa, it looks very, very strange without any furniture whatsoever. I think the table was not mine. We had a few things over here that were not mine as well. But yeah, pretty much everything else has been moved. Oh, mixed feelings really. Of course, a little bit emotional. Been here for a very long time. 5 years. 5 freaking years. Started the podcast here. Made a lot of memories here. What a spot. I mean, honestly, I don't know if I'm ever going to find an apartment with this type of view, where you walk down a corridor and then it just expands outwards. You've got pretty much a 180-degree view. Ceiling to floor, glass walls. Very, very rare. And on top of that, this is the 6th floor. So it looks like it's high, but it's actually only the 6th floor. And it gives you this kind of unique feel to it, because you're not too high where you kind of feel, far away from everyone. It feels as though you are at the captain's deck of a boat, because you can see everybody in detail. So it's cool. Just so people can see, I never really did a full house tour. This was my bedroom. And yeah, it's a nice bedroom. But again, I would have liked a little bit of a bigger bedroom. Storage space, limited. The bathroom was great. Like, really quite modern and slick. Shower was huge. Toilet also very nice, and I had a bathtub. Second bedroom, pretty much identical. I mean, this ended up being my storage room or room for guests. We also had a guest toilet here as well. I mean, I don't know who decided to design it so that the door would go inwards. So you have to kind of squeeze around to use the toilet. I mean, should have opened the other way. So there we have it, folks. Time to say goodbye. Last time you're going to see this place. Last time I'm going to see this place. I have no idea who the next person will be to grace this place, but it won't be for a while because this entire building is going through renovations. So the wooden floor is going to be ripped up and replaced with tiles. They've already done that with other apartments, so it's probably going to be a little bit more upgraded than what you see right now, but as I said, it will most likely not be on the market to rent until midsummer, end of summer. So you're just going to have to stay peeled, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want this apartment, this iconic, legendary apartment that Mike Thurston lived in for 5 years. Okay guys, we are officially in the new spot. The keys have been handed over, the tenancy has begun, but I'm not going to do a house tour just yet. This is all you're going to see at the moment because, well, actually I don't know if I want to do a house tour, to be honest. I want to keep this like my sacred place that nobody knows about. But I did think it would be worthwhile me talking about what it is that I take into consideration and what is important for me, at least, when it comes to choosing a place to live. I'm 35 years old. I have traveled to many places and stayed in some very beautiful apartments and villas, and every time I stay somewhere, I pick something up. Things that I have liked about the spot, what I've not liked about the spot, the decor, the location, the furniture, the arrangement, like literally everything. So at this point in my life, I'm just way better at knowing what I like and what I don't like. So I guess for me, what's important? Well, first of all, let's start off with the view. It needs to have a view. Okay, it doesn't necessarily need to be a view of pure nature. It could be a view of man-made city landscape. I don't care. I just want something to look at. I need to be high up enough to see everything in front of me and to not have a view obstructed by something or be too low to have anything to look at all. The next important thing for me is location. Okay, so obviously at this point in my life I need to be where the action is, so I need to be in the city, but at the same time I don't necessarily want to be in the middle of nowhere because then it means I have to get in my car or drive to anywhere that I would like to go to. So I like to have the option of going downstairs and having everything on my doorstep. Okay, people, coffee shops, restaurants, things to do, things like that. I like to have my own little community around me where I don't have to always get into a car. Secondly, it needs to be on the beach, right? I'm a beach person. I like the beach. I don't know if this will come as a surprise to you guys, but I like to spend quite a lot of time there. So the fact that I choose a place and it's located directly on the beach is important for two reasons. So I can have access to it whenever I want. I can go on beach walks, and I can also ground myself so that I can walk barefoot and actually have contact with the surface of the earth. Okay, a lot of people who live in cities, who wear in shoes all the time, living in the concrete jungle, don't have the opportunity to do that. So I think that's very important. It also needs to be modern. I've noticed that I don't like living in old places just because things don't work as well and they're outdated, and a lot of places can sometimes have bad energy, and I don't know if that has something to do with the people that have lived in it previously or whether it's something else, but it needs to be new. And thankfully this place nobody has lived in before. In fact, I've watched this tower get built from the ground up, and I'm the first person to live here, so that's absolutely fantastic. Nothing but good vibes and good energy in here. It also needs to be furnished, okay? I mean, honestly, I would love to furnish a place myself, but I know I would get way too caught up in just picking every single piece of furniture and having these conversations with the interior designer and so on, that it would just be a whole project in itself that would distract me from all the other things which I've got going on. So the fact that this is already fully furnished and furnished by somebody who clearly knows what they're doing, an interior designer no doubt, means that all that hard work and faff has been taken care of. It also needs to be spacious. Now the previous place, it was enough space for one person, 2-bedroom, big living room, but I need more space. I don't know what it is. I like to walk around. I like to have different rooms to spend time in, to, I don't know, walk around in, to work in, things like that. And then one thing that's quite underrated and rare in Dubai is high ceilings. This has very high ceilings. I think that it's like the ceiling is 2 foot higher than the previous place, and it just gives off this grand sense of luxury and elegance, which is, it's really hard to describe, but it just adds so much volume to the room. Space to actually go outside, to have a balcony. I've not had a balcony, as I mentioned, for like 5-6 years, so now I can actually go outside and just breathe air and have direct sunlight on my face. So that's good. Your boy has a balcony now. And then this is more so for me, and it's not going to be relatable for a lot of other people who are kind of off social media. But for me, I spend a lot of time at home. Okay, my home is my workspace. And of course, it's my studio. It's where I film a lot of YouTube videos and of course the podcast. So I need a place which is going to be suitable for filming podcasts and filming videos. So that's always something, when I was looking around at different places, I'm like, can the podcast be filmed here or not? Will it work? How would it work? And it just, a lot of the places which I was looking at just didn't have that. This place had that. And for me, at least, it needs to have that wow factor. Like I want people to walk in here and just be like, whoa, like this is like, wow. The previous place had that because it had the view. It had that just glass wall, 180-degree, unobstructed view of just the environment, and there's a lot going on. So people always loved that. Regardless of how wealthy they were, it was unique. You know, a lot of people had never really seen something like that before. So it's almost like it just sets the tone. Like this is a representation of me, my brand, and lets people know that, yeah, I'm serious. I'm not playing around here. And it's important because when you're having a conversation with someone, the environment of where the conversation is being held can have a big impact on the quality and the type of the conversation that will occur, right? I've done quite a lot of podcasts in these very cramped, claustrophobic studios, and I've not liked being in there, and I feel like the quality of the conversation has not been as good as it could have been because it just wasn't a nice space. So to have a space where the guests can feel fully comfortable and maybe even inspired and excited will without a doubt have a big impact on the quality of the conversation that is first of all being recorded, and then obviously the conversation that will happen off camera. So yeah, and I guess it just has to have the feeling that when you originally look at it, you just can't stop thinking about it, right? This is why I never advise people to book a place long term if they haven't actually been there before. If you are thinking about going anywhere, living anywhere, you have to see it with your own eyes. You have to feel the energy. You have to visualize every potential scenario that may happen or has happened in the past, and imagine it happening here or in the spot where you may be living, okay? What's it gonna be like with your partner? What's it gonna be like with your families? What's it gonna be like hanging out, having friends over, you know, all these different things. I looked around this place in November. Whilst I was kind of, as I always do, just look around different places to see what's going on in the market in Dubai and like what is newly opened, what is available, because I have been thinking about moving for the past year. And when I looked around this spot, it honestly, it fucked me, because I was like, this is my dream apartment. I took videos of this place, and every couple of days after I'd visited, I kept rewatching the videos and visualizing myself being here. Because I was like, this is just, every other place I went to, it just didn't have the same impact. I was like, it has to be this place. And, you know, it just so happens that one thing has led to another. The timing is absolutely perfect. And within a very quick period, short period of time, I've made the decision. Yes, we're going to move here, and here we are. So, yeah, I'm excited for this next chapter. I feel like there's absolutely no way I'm going to be here for just 1 year. I'm in love with the place already. So next couple of years, this is going to be the base, and I couldn't be happier. It's honestly, it's my dream apartment, and I'm pinching myself that this is actually a reality. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Maybe you find it useful, maybe not, but that's just the things that go on in my mind when it comes to choosing a place to live.